In 1981, a vegetarian Indian restaurant known as Hotel Saravana Bhavan was founded in the Indian state of Tamil Nadu. The restaurant quickly added more locations, known for offering meals made with fresh ingredients at a low cost. Over the years, they've grown into an international chain, with restaurants stretching from South Africa to the United States. And no, they're not the sponsor of this video, although I wouldn't complain if they were. Then again, you might as well call me Shaquille O'Neal because I would take any advertisement you offer me. But no, the reason I'm talking about Saravana Bhavan is because of the founder, a man named Pitchai Rajagopal. After going from rags to riches by building his restaurant chain, Pitchai changed his life forever by murdering a man because of astrology. Pitchai's love of astrology dates back to the 80s, when he founded Saravana Bhavan on the advice of his personal astrologer. The astrologer told him to start a business associated with fire. And I guess there's no money in arson, so Pitchai entered the restaurant industry. He immediately began losing money due to his insistence that Saravana Bhavan use fresh ingredients, not to mention the fact that going out to eat was kind of a foreign concept to most Indians at the time. But once the word got around about Saravana Bhavan, the restaurant became a big success. It was also known for its incredible treatment of the staff, with Pitchai insisting that all employees receive benefits such as health insurance and housing assistance. He would also frequently hire his employees' family members, buy books for their children, and even give them allowances for their daughters' weddings. Needless to say, he was widely beloved. The public knew him as Dosa King for his signature dish at the restaurant. But his employees called him Annachi, meaning older brother. And he could also be a harsh older brother, reportedly disciplining his employees if they broke his rules. Those in trouble would have to come to his office and wait in line to be disciplined, making him less of a Dosa King and more of a Dosa school principal. But Pitchai's employees were still fiercely loyal to their boss, to the point that they would even kill for him. And that's not a figure of speech, it's exactly what they did. For a time, every single Saravana Bhavan location had 2 pictures of Pitchai on the wall. One of him and his sons, and the other of him and his longtime spiritual guru, Ravi, the astrologer who told him to get into the fire business. So in the late 90s, when Ravi told Pitchai that he should marry the daughter of one of his employees, a girl named Jeevajothi, the Dosa King took that advice to heart. He was told that marrying this girl would make him one of the richest men in India, which is really a Disney villain level of greed, considering he wasn't exactly strapped for cash. He wasn't even strapped for wives, already being married to 2 other women at the same time. But still, Pitchai trusted the word of the stars. The only problem was that Jeevajothi had no interest in marrying him, despite his attempts to win her over with jewelry and delicious vegetarian Indian food. In fact, Jeevajothi went on to marry her brother's math tutor, Prince Shantakumar. For the record, his first name was Prince. He wasn't a member of royalty, although the fact that he was working as a math tutor probably gave that away. But Pitchai, being a Leo, was not one to take no for an answer. And why would he, after years of the haters telling him that selling delicious, fresh vegetarian food at low prices would never work? I'm really gunning for that sponsorship, guys. So Pitchai and his army of loyal employees did everything they could to split up the happy couple. That included threatening them, bribing the husband, beating the husband, and even paying a sorcerer to put a curse on their relationship. At one point, he even sent Prince Shantakumar to see a doctor as a favor, only to pay the doctor to tell Prince that he had AIDS. And you know someone has reached a new level of hating when they bring out the old fake AIDS diagnosis. Eventually, Pitchai even kicked Jeevajothi's family out of the housing that he was paying for. But after all this, the young couple still refused to leave each other. They truly were a modern-day Romeo and Juliet, if Romeo was falsely accused of having AIDS. Finally, in early 2001, Pitchai reached a point where he was so obsessed with his potential third wife that he ordered his men to kill her husband. So 8 men abducted the couple and separated them. Jeevajothi was sent to a property owned by Pitchai, while Prince Shantakumar was strangled to death. Jeevajothi was told that her husband had gone insane and fled the country, but she soon managed to escape the property she was on and filed a police report. Several months later, Prince's body was found in the wilderness. And so began the long battle to bring Pitchai Rajagopal to justice. In 2004, a sessions court convicted him and his 8 henchmen of manslaughter. Pitchai was sentenced to 10 years in prison, but he appealed the conviction until it was sent to a high court in 2009. Unfortunately for Pitchai, the high court actually decided that the 10-year sentence wasn't enough, so they sentenced him to life in prison. Big swing and a miss from Pitchai on that gamble. But he once again appealed the sentencing until it finally reached the Supreme Court of India, which took until March of 2019. And throughout the 18 years of constant appeals, Pitchai only spent a total of 11 months in jail, meaning he somehow managed to successfully procrastinate going to prison. Meanwhile, his restaurant empire continued to expand. By 2019, Saravana Bhavan had 127 locations in 24 countries, with over 5,000 happy employees. And the public didn't seem to care about the founder being a murderer. The New York Times interviewed a customer who said, "As long as he's giving me good quality food, I go there." But you have to understand, this is the Dosa King we're talking about. You wouldn't see this kind of brand loyalty if he was just the Dosa feudal lord. But the Supreme Court of India was the last place Pitchai could turn, and in March of 2019, they upheld his life sentence. I guess they didn't buy his astronomer's testimony that Mercury was in retrograde. He was ordered to surrender to the court on July 9th. When that day came, Pitchai showed up in an ambulance and was rolled into court on a stretcher. Everyone immediately assumed he was just being dramatic. He is a Leo after all. But Pitchai was admitted to the prison ward of the local hospital, and he ended up dying of a heart attack just 9 days later. So in the end, Pitchai Rajagopal successfully delayed his prison sentence until it directly lined up with his death. That's the power of listening to the stars. The Dosa King's funeral was attended by thousands of people, many of them loving employees. Saravana Bhavan was taken over by Pitchai's sons, who are still serving fresh vegetarian food across the world to this day. I couldn't find any record of what happened to Pitchai's spiritual guru Ravi, but perhaps he foresaw the Supreme Court's verdict in his readings and slipped into the night, guided by the very stars that once built a Dosa kingdom. If any Indian people are watching this, please let us know in the comments if the food from Saravana Bhavan is really worth ignoring a murder for. And while you're at it, just to boost the engagement on this video, go ahead and tell us your thoughts on Pakistan too. I'm sure you have a lot to say. Now please consider subscribing, or my astronomer will tell me to marry you.